MP joins us now, Shadow Minister for Foreign, Commonwealth and the Development Office. Wendy, very good morning to you.
Morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's a lovely sunny day down there, but I know it's a bit cold, so my apologies if you've been standing there too long.
It is a little bit chilly this morning.
It is. Let me just, I've got to I don't know if you can answer this as a constitutional question. I mean, if Keir Starmer believes that boots on the ground are going to be the solution for peacekeeping in Ukraine, does he have to come before Parliament, and at what point does he have to come before Parliament to see whether people want to actually commit to that in this country?
Well, I think on the point of boots on the ground, I think it's really important that there's a lot of speculation at the moment, and I think we've had this summit over the weekend, and certainly from my perspective as Shadow Foreign Minister and as a Member of Parliament representing a constituency, I want to understand a little bit more about what was discussed and agreed at that summit. So I'm hoping that when Keir Starmer comes to the House of Commons to make a statement this afternoon, we start to see that clarity, because that's what we will be asking for. As to the legalities, or does it have to come to the House, I think that again is something that we need. If that's the situation that where we are to get to, it's important that we understand what input, if any, Parliament would have in that circumstance.
Yes, because I mean the Speaker of the House is always quite unhappy if things are announced outside of Parliament before they've been announced in Parliament, and presumably this weekend was one of those such occasions, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, the Speaker has always been very clear that any minister is expected to make announcements to the House of Commons first, and he gets very irritated, and quite understandably, and for those of us on the opposition benches it's deeply frustrating and it's deeply disrespectful. But I think the point here to remember is there's been speculation over the weekend. Let's see what the Prime Minister comes with today. I think it's important in circumstances like this, we all remain calm yet pragmatic, and that, you know, while speculation is always inevitable in these cases, sometimes a running commentary is not always helpful.
No, it's not, especially if it's coming from the Prime Minister. What about the Chagos Islands? There's some suggestion that that deal may actually go through later this week. I know that your leader, Kemi Badenoch, is not in favour of it. The Tories have been accused of starting the conversation about giving the Chagos Islands away to Mauritius. What's the Tory position if it looks like that's going to happen this week?
So look, again on the Chagos, again that I don't know if it's going to happen this week. Again, that is speculation. So we will be calling for answers on that. We've been very, very clear on our position with regards to the Chagos Islands, and it was this Labour government, it was this Foreign Secretary that decided, he chose to pick up those negotiations and to conclude them in a very, very rushed fashion, which has always left a lot of questions. The question now is, if they are going to seek to push this through, how much is it going to cost, and where is the money going to come from? You know, we've heard £9 billion, we've heard £18 billion, but we've never had the confirmation or the clarity, nor have we had any clarity as to, is that coming out of the defence budget, is it coming out of ODA budgets, is it money that's been put to one side for any deal? Is it going to be paid over 1 year, over many years? You know, there are so many questions that, try as we may, the Labour government have failed to provide us with the answers for the British people.
Wendy Morton, thank you very much indeed. Wendy Morton MP, Shadow Minister for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office there. Let's get a voice note from Sean.
Hello, Mike. It's Sean from Bristol. I think Starmer's just doing it because he's tanking in the polls, and he thought because Maggie Thatcher got a bit of a boost from the Falklands War, he wants to take us into another war or that type of thing, because he thinks he's going to get his poll ratings back up.
I think there's definitely a part of that which is true, because all politicians at the end of the day know that a war or stroke, some kind of national emergency will always focus the minds. I mean, you know, it wasn't always good for Boris Johnson when COVID happened. However, it was probably something that did him more of a favour initially, because it made everybody watch him, it made everybody listen to him, and it made all the other political parties kind of coalesce around him. you know, you've seen it here already. You know, Reform have got a slightly different view, but it looks like the Tories and Keir Starmer and the Lib Dems are all in sort of lockstep with one another. Saw Ed Davey on TV at the weekend, heaven help us, with his views on all sorts of things. I mean, he's one of the people, I think, calling for Donald Trump to be refused another state visit, because he's such a nasty man. Here's one from Guy. It says, it's become obvious that not only is Trump the leader of the free world, he's the only leader in the free world. And Sally says this, 500 in on Saturday. How many hotels is that? There's a whisper that a new hotel is going to be built on a service area near me. I bet it won't be for travelling businessmen. Are new hotels having to be built now to accommodate these criminals? Great show as always. Well, Sally, we had the news, did we not? Over the weekend, I think I read the story, that basically there's now more illegal migrants going into hotels than ever, despite the fact that Keir Starmer said that they were going to phase out the use of illegal migrant hotels and they were going to start deporting more people. It is absolutely ridiculous. Colin says, morning Mike, if Prime Minister Starmer ever mentions the word conscription for young people, boats will stop coming and this country will empty faster than a bath when you pull the plug out. And Ian says, Mike, if we are on a war footing, then the Home Office has even more power to ignore the ECHR as national security trumps any ECHR clause. Well, I mean, there's all sorts of things being done in the name of a possible war footing, including handing out yet more billions of pounds to Ukraine, announcing that there's going to be a plan to basically support Ukraine for as long as it takes. That's what Starmer said yesterday. And, of course, the idea that somehow we may even be needing to put British troops on the ground in Ukraine. Well, who said that was an OK thing to do?